shocked.
Welcome back, Crackle Addicts. I'm Lupine Fiasco. This is Daily FaB Gameplay, and today we are playing Aurora Shooting Star. For anyone who is new to the channel, what we do here is review replays of games I played on the Talishar.net client days or weeks ago, after enough time has passed that I lose my bias and can more objectively judge the quality of my games. I will talk through turn cycles as if I were taking them now, explaining my thought processes for the lines I would take, and compare that to the lines I did take. We either learn from my mistakes or reinforce good play patterns with the overall goal of tightening and optimizing our gameplay in the future, taking down paper events, and walking away with that shiny, shiny cardboard. If you would like to check out the deck I'm playing here or try it for yourself on Talishar, there is a FaB deck link in the video description below. While you're down there, if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to my channel. It is the best free way to support me and to make sure that you see daily FaB gameplay in your video feed 5 days a week. If you'd like to engage further, there is a link to my Twitter, to my Discord, and to my Patreon. Without further ado, let's jump right into the action. Alright, fair warning everyone, this is a pretty bad game for us, so put on your critical thinking hats, because we are going to try and dissect if there was anything I could have done to win this game, certainly where some minor misplays happened. We win the die roll, we've chosen to go second. Something to be aware of right off the bat is that you cannot use electromagnetic somersault defensively against news stealth attacks. The reason being that the delayed trigger from electromagnetic somersault and the new trigger where her stealth attacks look to banish defending actions will trigger at the same time, and the active player decides the order in which those triggers resolve. So a good new player, or at least a new player who's aware of that interaction, will say that her stealth banish triggers first. Your attacks will go to your banish zone, and then electromagnetic somersault will trigger, and your cards cannot move from your banish zone back into your hand. So we cannot, for example, put Static Shock and Flittering Charge in front of Persuasive Prognosis, then use Somersault defensively. I would like to do that, but we won't get those back. New will gain life. If we really wanted to dump all the cards in our hand, we could do that, but already Flittering Charge and Somersault are pretty good together. I am interested in putting Static Shock in front of this Prognosis just to block 3. I'm expecting that some sort of reaction is coming behind this, even if it doesn't. I'm fine giving New 1 point of life here and letting her take Static Shock, but just be aware of that. That's why I'm not doing a defensive somersault here, which is what I would really like to do. We are going to take 2 from the Prognosis. We lose our Static Shock. New gets a blink off the top of the deck, which is pretty okay for us. She only gains 1 point of life because blink is not an action. And we draw into what looks like a good hand, but is actually worse than that. Putting Arc Lightning into Arsenal and waiting for 5 cards is very tempting. Against Assassin, it's obviously very dangerous. Leave No Witnesses, Command and Conquer are both effects that would disrupt our arsenal that we need to address in some way if we tuck a power card like Arc Lightning into it. Can we play a 4-card Arc Lightning here? Technically, yes, but the thing about Arc Lightning is with these 3 cards, we are only getting 3 value from it. We play the Arc Lightning, it deals a point of Arcane. We play Entwine Lightning, the Entwine Lightning gets go again, that deals a point of Arcane. Then we attack with Flittering Charge, use Somersault, Flittering Charge gets go again, that is a 3rd point of Arcane. Flittering Charge comes back to our hand, we attack for 4, the 4 does not have go again, our turn ends. Arc Lightning being a 0 for 3 is abysmal for Arc Lightning. You've seen what it can do. It should be a 0 for 4 at minimum, and we're talking 0 for 6 if you draw a blue, Ravenous Rabble, attacks with natural, go again. So we don't want to play Arc Lightning here. It is too poor of a rate. But we can get a 3-card 12. We play Entwine Lightning, we fuse it with Somersault, we play Flittering Charge, we use the Somersault on it, we get Flittering Charge back, then we attack for another 4. We can really sequence that any number of ways. Play Flittering Charge first, then Somersault it, Entwine, fusing Flittering Charge, then play Flittering Charge. But a 3-card 12 here is really good. That's a fantastic rate. And we put the Arc Lightning into our arsenal. Worst case, we can sync it with Crown of Providence. We have all of our armor that we can use to protect the Arc Lightning if we need to. So we're off to a pretty good start here. The prognosis on turn 0 was unfortunate, but things are starting to look up just a bit. Twine Lightning fused with the Flittering Charge. I think Flittering Charge first is probably our best line because based on poor blocks that we undid, New knows that we have a Flittering Charge, but there is very little we could do to sequence that poorly. The important thing being that we don't use Arc Lightning to fuse Entwine Lightning. So we push some damage through, we get cards out of New's hand, and we are going to arsenal this Arc Lightning, drawing into another really bad hand for Arc Lightning. We can see that I am considering just putting armor in front of this Leave No Witnesses. Notably, we need to put 5 armor in front unless we want to bait New into using her card in hand to activate Alluring Desire and get Fang Strike. Here's why this hand is bad for Arc Lightning. For the same reason that our last hand was bad. If we play Arc Lightning from Arsenal, it deals 1. We play Arc Lightning from hand, both Arc Lightnings trigger and deal 2, so we've done 3 total. Entwine Lightning has go again. It deals another 2. We Electromagnetic Somersault it back to our hand. We attack for another 4. We fuse it with Electromagnetic Somersault. It has go again. That's another 2 points of Arcane for a total of 7. Then the third instance of Entwine Lightning doesn't have go again. So our 2 Arc Lightnings deal 7 damage total, which is 3.5 points per Arc Lightning. That's really bad. We just covered that we want Arc Lightning to be hitting 4 at minimum, and anywhere from 5 to 6 on a really good Arc Lightning turn. So we don't want to block this from hand. We really can't. We can't Defensive Somersault with Entwine and Arc Lightning because we can't get the Arc Lightning back. Defensive Somersault with Entwine Lightning is a value of 2. We get 4 on offense. So what I want to do, rather than lose an Arc Lightning to this Leave No Witnesses, is use my Crown. I want to sink the Arc Lightning and try to find something better, something with natural go again, a blue that we can pitch into Grasp and Starfall, just something. I would rather use my Crown to sink this Arc Lightning in Arsenal than use 5 points of armor to stop this Leave No Witnesses, because now we went from having 7 armor available to having 4, and all we did that for was to prevent a loss of 3.5 points of value. So we actually lost value by saving this Arc Lightning using our armor than we would have had we just let the Leave No Witnesses banish it. So things have now gone from okay to not very good. We've also now played 2 of our Arc Lightnings, our most powerful card in the deck. Works very well with Channel Lightning Valley, works very well with Snatch and Lightning Strike, and 2 of them are gone. We're not getting a good value from it. This is a 5-card 19 overall, which is above rate if you consider that the average card is worth 3. But we want so much more out of our 5-card Arc Lightning turns. So we are playing it through. We will effectively take Nu from 39 to 20. If she does no blocking, we would expect that she will block at least some of this damage. We don't have an arsenal at this point. We could arsenal the Entwine Lightning at the end of this turn. That probably is for the best. We still have our crown up, so we are pretty incentivized to arsenal cards. The Entwine Lightning, the last one, does not deal any bonus damage. It just does 4. So we'd rather tuck that into our arsenal. Maybe we draw our third Arc Lightning, maybe we draw Channel Lightning Valley. What you're seeing me do here, I'm going to pitch Electromagnetic Somersault into Starfall to attack for 2+2 Arcane. We're getting 4 out of this last card in our hand either way, but pitching Somersault keeps a Somersault in our deck. I do think that this is a misplay. We should have Somersaulted the Entwine and then Arsenal the Entwine. I would have much rather done that than this play, which is maximizing our value for the turn, but is not setting us up for future success. Deal our 2 damage from Arc Lightnings. Nu blocked a total of 10 damage this turn. See, if this hand has Entwine Lightning in the arsenal, we're looking pretty good. I wouldn't say our hand scales exponentially. What we want to do with this hand is probably play Ravenous Rabble, Lightning Press it, Starfall, Embodiment, Arsenal, Sizzle. It's a 3-card 9. We make an embodiment. We don't need to block this Bonds of Attraction. We'll let Nu deal a point of damage and gain a point of life. Having an Entwine Lightning in Arsenal just says we maybe get to Arsenal the Ravenous Rabble instead. In general, I'm finding with Aurora that you really want to arsenal your go-again attacks. You want to arsenal an attack generally, but you really want to arsenal your go-again attacks so that you can play with Arc Lightning, Channel Lightning Valleys, Burn Ups, which are not in for this matchup, but work very well with 5-card hands with go-again in Arsenal. So if we did have an Entwine Lightning in Arsenal, what I would want to do is play that Entwine, play a Sizzle, play the Entwine Lightning, fuse it with Lightning Press, play the Lightning Press, we're getting in for 10, then activate Grasp, pitch into Starfall, so now we're dealing 13, and we Arsenal Ravenous Rabble. We don't have the Entwine, so what we want to do is play Rabble, attack for 4, press it up to 7, Starfall, Embodiment, Arsenal, Sizzle, set up that 5-card hand. What I do not want to do is play Sizzle, then Starfall, Rabble, Embodiment. I am so down on Lightning Press. If you check the list available on FaB, URL in the video description below, you'll see that I've cut Lightning Press. I'll be doing a deck tech about my recent changes based on the few battle hardens we had this last weekend and Calling Leon. I saw Value Vampires had cut Lightning Press and replaced it with Photon Rush, which I think is so smart. It's such a good idea because Lightning Press is just so bad. It is a conditional head jab that doesn't block. Like, this card has lost me so many games. It just does feel really bad. What also feels bad is Rabble revealing the blue when we don't have that many left in our deck. And drawing into the most atrocious Runeblade hand. One of the most atrocious we could possibly see. We have our Crown to give us a 5-card hand, and we cannot take advantage of the space that Nu is giving us. So we can use our Crown to sink our arsenal and try to draw into any attack, any 0 for 4 that is going to let us get a benefit out of our discharges. But considering that we have 2 blues, which is pretty catastrophic value-wise, and considering just how bad this hand is, What I actually like doing here is taking the 4, saying no blocks, then in response to the Leave No Witnesses trigger, play Lightning Press to give it +3. We won't take damage because the damage step has already happened. New doesn't make a silver because she doesn't banish a red from our arsenal. And then we just play Discharge, Discharge, Current Funnel, Starfall, make an embodiment. We get a 4-card 11 with an embodiment. Terrible rate, but we still have our crown. And sinking this, the 5th card, there is no 5th card in our deck that could possibly help this turn. We draw into a 3rd blue, which is just absolutely abysmal, catastrophic for us. We're still going to get our 4-card 11. We'll make it a 4-card 12, because now that we have a Sigil of Lightning that we can put into our arsenal, we can pitch our blink to Grasp, make a rune chant, Starfall, Discharge, Discharge, Starfall attacks for 2, the rune chant does 1, and then Current Funnel attacks for 8. 4-card 12 is really the best we can hope for from this hand. We are just really in a bad spot. Really unfortunate. What else is unfortunate is seeing that the card that New banished with the Leave No Witnesses, the 2nd card from the top of our deck when we crowned, was a Gone in a Flash, and if we had a Gone in a Flash in this hand, I believe we're dealing 21 damage because we get to combo off with Lightning Greaves and 2 discharges, which would, of course, be just so much better than what we're doing here. So we are going to send the Starfall for 1. We will double discharge it up to 2. We will Current Funnel into 8 Arsenal Sigil, and then we're just sad. We could pitch the Sigil into Aurora to make an embodiment and keep an extra card in our deck. The thing is, we're not expecting this game to go to 2nd cycle. We don't need to conserve cards. This New is very clearly not trying to fatigue us. And putting Sigil of Lightning into Arsenal opens a few different avenues for us. For one thing, it might bait New into attacking our Arsenal with Command and Conquer or Leave No Witnesses, and we get to just play Sigil to dodge the Arsenal disruption. Another thing we can do if New does not disrupt our Arsenal is play it on our turn to turn on Starfall. So we have New attacking with Command and Conquer. What can we do with a Sigil? We could block the Command and Conquer if we used 2 Lightning Surges and an Exude Confidence, and then we would do nothing on our turn. Or we can take 6, go to 24, play out the Sigil of Lightning in response to the Command and Conquer trigger. Because we will have Go again on our turn, Sigil turns into Embodiment. We can play Electrostatic Discharge, then play Exude Confidence for 7. That very likely locks New out of being able to play any defense reactions. We follow that with Lightning Surge for 4, and then tuck the 2nd Lightning Surge into our arsenal. Arsenaling Surge feels a lot worse now that we don't have Crown of Providence to protect against Command and Conquer and Leave No Witnesses, but it is Codex protection, and I've just found it isn't really that great to never Arsenal anything against Assassin, because you are nerfing your future damage output, especially with a hero like Aurora, who can scale exponentially with Channel Lightning Valley and Arc Lightning. And if you are never arsenaling because you're afraid of Arsenal disruption, they might as well always have Arsenal disruption. Just is not correct, I've found in my experience. We are going to get 2 cards out of New to block 6 of the 7 damage from Exude Confidence. We'll follow up with Lightning Surge for 4, and then pass the turn. 3-card 11 is not the most exciting thing we could be doing, but it is above rate, and locking New out of any potential defense reactions for the combat chain does feel very good. We have a Persuasive Prognosis with a card in hand. Tunic is not up. So there are a few things we could put new on here. We could put her on Justinic. We could put her on a Transcend Instant to potentially buff Prognosis if it is grading the tips of the scale. It could be Pathful Travel to get this go again and let new play whatever's in her arsenal. We do want to block the Prognosis. We want to put Grasp of the Arcanite in front of it. Just make new have something to get it over the top of 1 point of armor block. What I also like doing here is playing Channel Lightning Valley after reactions before the Prognosis trigger, because it is extremely unlikely that new flips a yellow off the top of our deck. We've played 2 Arc Lightnings, we see a Channel Lightning Valley in our hand, we have 33 cards left in our deck and only 3 of them are yellow, but if we lose our Channel Lightning Valley, that's just pretty catastrophic. And as much as I want the surprise factor of a Channel Lightning Valley, I would rather protect it by just playing it before the Prognosis can resolve, instead of taking the chance that new gets it from us. We will be keeping this entire hand. Search from Arsenal, Rabble from hand, Entwine fused with Blink, are all potentially 0 for 4 with Go Again. That all plays very well with our Channel Lightning Valley. New hits a red off the top, so our Channel Lightning is safe. She is going to choose to banish the Express Lightning, which is correct. Express Lightning is always 4, and we can fuse it. Ravenous Rabble is sometimes 4, but as we've seen in this game, has already been 2 once and maybe 2 again. We do want to get our Channel Lightning Valley proc, so I like pitching Blink into Grasp of the Arcanite and attacking with Starfall for 1/1. We'll play the Channel Lightning Valley in reactions to give Starfall +1 power and Go Again. New already knows we have it, so there is no real incentive to lead with Rabble or Lightning Surge and try to bait New into overblocking, or maybe blocking 3 and we get 1 over. New's either going to let us have it or she isn't. Drawn to another blue, which is just so unfortunate. Anytime Aurora has 2 blues in hand, it's awful. It's terrible. It's such a bad rate, because the second blue either turns into a rune chant or it turns into an embodiment of lightning, and turning a full card into 1 point of value or Go Again just isn't good. Very bad. So we're going to play Lightning Surge from Arsenal. We're going to Arsenal our Sigil of Lightning, and again, just maybe bait Aurora into sending a Command and Conquer or Leave No Witnesses that won't have a target once we play out the Sigil at instant speed. Here we drawn to all the reds that we haven't been seeing. Looking at a Beckoning Mistblade, if we think about how we can use this hand, very poorly. If we play our embodiment, our Sigil of Lightning at the end of New's turn to make an embodiment on our turn, we can still only send a 3-card 10. We send Flittering Charge for 4 Go Again, Pitch Gone in a Flash to Starfall, attack with Snatch, and then Arsenal Lightning Surge. If we hold the Sigil, we can play Flittering Charge for 4, play the Sigil to get the charge Go Again, Pitch Gone in a Flash to Starfall, attack with Snatch, Arsenal Lightning Surge. Either way, we're getting a 3-card 10. The second option gives us an embodiment on our next turn, so we are banking that. That is a better line, but we are in a position where we just can't convert the cards in our hand to anything worthwhile, and it really is unfortunate for us. So we could block the Mistblade with maybe a Lightning Surge. I don't mind blocking with this hand. If if I could block with Lightning Surge, Flittering Charge, and Snatch and cover up 6, and then on my turn play Gone in a Flash, then play Sigil, get the Gone back, and Arsenal it, pretty okay with that. So I might want to block here with the Lightning Surge, hold on to our last point of armor on Dyadic Carapace, but Carapace is fine as well. Covering up the Mistblade, I think, does have some value. We're going to see what New does with the rest of this turn. Again, just keeping in mind, our hand is not good, and Bonds of Agony is not going to make it any better. We have to imagine that New can use her Floating Resource to activate Arousing Wave. That's 1 reaction. Play the Fang Strike as 2 reactions. I am guessing, considering that we have not seen a Transcend instant out of New yet this game, that she is holding at least 1. So she'll play that, make a Chi, pitch the Chi into Mask of Recurring Nightmare. We have to banish a card from our hand, and that is the 3rd reaction to get Bonds up to at least 5 power. If we lose 2 cards from our hand, we still get to send a 3-card 8 that makes a Embodiment of Lightning on our next turn. So I'm reluctantly okay not blocking the Bonds of Agony. We also deny New life gain by not blocking the Bonds of Agony. Because if we do block with Lightning Surge, Flittering Charge, and Snatch, get rid of the cards that I don't like from my hand, we give her 3 life once she banishes our actions in the resolution step. And if she does have that Chi to transcend with, then she gets to make us banish our 4th card, Gone in a Flash, and she just holds onto any reactions or equipment because we have no cards left in our hand. She doesn't need to react in any way. She's just, the Bonds of Agony was enough to do its job. So we'll say no blocks here. Venomous Bite is going to get 3 extra damage on top of what Arousing Wave would have. Grain that tips the scale is going to push it up to 9. We have to banish a card. We should banish Snatch here. We have not played a Snatch yet. So there, no, we have. Checking our graveyard, no, we haven't. We should banish Snatch so that New can't take our other 2 Snatches. Gone in a Flash, Flittering Charge, and Lightning Surge, all very few left in our deck, if any. And Snatch, great 0 for 4. We'd love to draw more of them in the future. So banishing Snatch here is our only way to protect it from Bonds of Agony. If we do banish the Snatch and New takes any of our cards, it really just, we can always play our Embodiment. That gets us our 3-card 8. If we leave the Snatch, New is incentivized to take it, so we get to play Flittering Charge, then play Sigil, then play Lightning Surge, so we are banking that Embodiment, but I think it is slightly better to keep Snatches in our deck for that solid 1-card play and just a solid finisher at the end of a chain. We'll Flittering Charge here for 4. We're going to Sigil in Resolution, give the Flittering Charge go again, and then play Lightning Surge. I don't value arsenaling Lightning Surge, especially considering that we will have an Embodiment of Lightning on our next turn, and that we still have Channel Lightning Valley active. I would like to threaten some breakpoints, make New need to deal with me. Hopefully, with all of these Transcend cards she's playing, she's stuck with some non-blocks. The fact that she did get to Rising Sun, Setting Moon, a Chi to the bottom of the deck, means that she has, presumably now, 2 Chi in hand and 2 cards I don't know. So, potentially looking good for drawing a card with Channel Lightning Valley, though Sink Below makes that much worse for us. Sink Below sinking a Chi, presumably 2 cards that we don't know, and a Chi in hand. If New has another defense reaction to cover this Lightning Surge, that's pretty catastrophic for us. We are really hoping that she gives us a 3-block, takes a point of damage, lets us draw from the Channel Lightning Valley, and then her turn is just an attack, pitch Chi into Mask of Recurring Nightmares. We're really hoping that she has a bunch of blues in hand, so that her turn is beckoning Mistblade into Banish. We get a Tunic out of her and a blue, so we don't mind the Tunic. Art of Desire Body is just kind of frustrating to see as far as the one thing that she has. So we're going to let this hit. She'll banish the top card of our deck. Presumably it is red. Gain a life. Draw a card for her arsenal. We're going to have to banish something to Mask of Recurring Nightmares, which is going to be Second Strike. Our turn will be Flittering Charge, play Somersault, play Flittering Charge, Arsenal Arc Lightning, and just pray that new bricks on her draw. But you'll have 5 cards to find 7 damage, so I feel like we are not going to get to Arc Lightning here. That being said, we're not going to Arc Lightning on this turn because we only get 2 points of value out of it. We have to go for the winning play, which is to Flittering, Somersault, Flittering, Arsenal, Arc Lightning, and pray. Sink Blow out of new to cover up the Flittering Charge damage. Salt in the wound at this point, insult to injury. We are extremely far behind with no chance of catching up. Putting you down to 15, put the Arc Lightning into our arsenal. Draw into a hand that can actually use Arc Lightning fairly well, but Persuasive Prognosis is probably going to put the nail in the coffin. Again, we should just play Channel Lightning Valley so that we don't risk losing it. New having the path roll traveled, but not pitching the Chi to Mask of Recurring Nightmares makes us feel really bad about what's about to happen to us. It is Command and Conquer, so we cannot cover the CNC damage. We'll lose. If we don't block, we lose the game. We lose our Arc Lightning, and we are just gonna say no blocks and scoop it up. Getting outvalued by new feels really bad. Watching this game back makes me think that we did make some poor decisions, blocking with armor early to protect a bad Arc Lightning, using our Crown of Providence to try and correct what was already a very bad hand, were pretty big mistakes. I won't say that they were not devastating. We did have variance working against us a lot of the time. The Runeblade hand with 3 instants and a current funnel felt terrible. Our 2 Arc Lightnings just did not work with the cards we were drawing. Felt like the deck was not cooperating with us, but the responsibility that we can take as players is to say that we certainly did not do our draws any favors. We did not make lemonade out of lemons. We just kind of sat with our lemons. So that's your lesson. Don't sit with your lemons. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned not to sit with your lemons, then go ahead and shock that like button. My comments are always open for any questions or feedback. If you haven't already done so, please consider a YouTube subscription. It's free. It helps me out a lot. It's also free to join my Discord. It's free to follow me on Twitter. Links to those socials are in the video description below. You'll also find a link to my Patreon, which is not free. But for the low price of $1, you get custom tokens. $5, you see this deck list and all of its matchup guides. And at higher tiers, you can get bonus content, and I'll even review your VODs. But regardless of what you do, having now watched this abysmal new game, make sure that you do not miss the next episode of Daily FaB Gameplay. And until the next time I see you, take care.